introducing the first of our two international fights. Introducing into the ring first, all the way from Russia, Kristaps Silla.
Kristaps Silla, who hails from Latvia. Muay Thai background, comes to us with a record of 22 wins and 11 losses. I'm joined by my co-commentators. I am Devin Curra, Richard Nta, and Michael Jai White.
Ladies and gentlemen, and now, introducing his opponent, all the way from Australia, Peter Graham.
Hails from Sydney, Australia, a professional boxer, professional mixed martial artist, and an all-out bad man. He comes to us with a record of 11 wins, 3 losses, and a single draw in professional boxing. Another big unit here tonight at Last Fighter Standing.
So Michael, let me ask you a question. I mean, these guys have traveled from Australia all the way to South Africa. Surely that's going to take some toll. They came here 4 days ago. He's been in the country 4 days. He's been working out. Will that affect you in the fight?
Peter Graham enters the ring. Let's send it up to our ring announcer, Craig Ross, for the official introductions.
This heavyweight bout is scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. This fighter weighs in at 116 kilograms, .5. He has a professional fight record of 82 wins, 26 losses, and 48 by way of KO. Fighting out of Australia, Peter Graham! And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. This fighter weighs in at 96.1 kilograms with a professional fight record of 15 wins and 5 losses. Fighting out of Russia, Kristaps Silla!
And we're going to get ready with round number 1. The Last Fighter Standing action is about to come.
All right, speaking of being chiseled, Michael, can you read into the physique of fighters coming into a fight? Does that tell a lot?
Well, actually, you've got one with a lower center of gravity, so he should be able to push the other one, off balance if he uses it. But you have with the Russian an unusual way of being on his feet. And an unusual low kick.
We've seen a couple south of the border. This is the first one of our televised segment, and that one looked like it was pretty well placed. Stops the big man in his tracks. He's going to need a little bit of time. What I found strange was that Peter Graham opened up with that leg kick, and he comes primarily from a boxing background, so looking to mix it up early here in the first round.
As you notice, with his body type, his lower center of gravity, he's pushing the other fighter back with a higher center of gravity, as you see.
Now, people who haven't been exposed to this form of mixed martial arts need to be aware of a few special rules that sets us apart from the rest. You'll notice that when the fighters get taken to the ground, they only have 20 seconds within which they are able to work, after which the referee steps them up to make it become two-way action once again, as well as the clinch rule, which you've just seen now. They have 10 seconds with which to do any kind of action before the referee separates them, and we get started with the action again. Peter Graham looking very composed.
So Michael, tell me something. When you're standing in the ring and you see two guys that are sitting like this, I mean, you've got Peter Graham, who just seems to be sizing him up at the moment, taking his time, and you've got the Russian guy coming on quite strong, Kristaps.
Yeah, you got to use your advantages. The Russian has great footwork that he's not using.
And that was a big right hook that landed square on the temple of Kristaps Silla. He's taking that 10 count. We're up to 3. He's up. He looks good. His legs look in good condition.
6. Huge blow. Kristaps should be concerned at this point of the fight. Huge blow.
Michael, your impressions of the opening round?
Well, Kristaps took a huge right hand just before the bell. That seems to be cause for concern in his corner. Peter Graham from Australia, impressive so far in the first round. He needs to keep it up for 2 more rounds in order to get a victory.
seconds out. Round number 2.
Now we head to round number 2 of our opening tilt on this televised card here at Last Fighter Standing at the Ticker Pro Dome. Sold out tonight. An absolutely amazing crowd that are in attendance to this very first event held in South Africa.
So, Michael, where does he go from here now? He's taken a big right punch in that first round. What to do next? Step out a little bit and fight from the outside?
Yeah, he's got to get offline because you're just losing the match when you've got a guy with a better center of gravity. He's solid, throwing from a very solid base. So he's got to be crafty and use that footwork, but he's just not doing it.
Peter Graham stalking forward on Christoph Zil. Again, that weight advantage seems to be quite prevalent because he's not scared of what's coming back from Zil. As game as they come.
Stalking indeed, Steph. As a matter of fact, I would recommend for Christoph to make use of more shin kicks to keep the big man at bay, to destabilize him a little bit, to keep him off his rhythm, because he can't afford that train to keep coming forward without being stopped.
What you want to do is you want to run that train into a straight technique. And when you do circular motions, you can, they can impede that a bit more. He's got to step back, use his footwork, step back, and make the big man run into his blow. So you magnify the power by using his momentum against him, by letting him run into something.
Another sturdy investment in body attack is a good way to slow a big man down. Whether or not he's going to feel too much of it, we're not too sure. As Zil and Graham exchange kicks to the bottom of the leg and towards the knee and shin area.
Christoph is clearly intimidated by Mr. Peter Graham at this moment. Something drastic needs to be done, a big punch. He might need to come forward, he might need to take a risk at this point of the fight.
Another thing you need to be aware of at home, 3 rounds of 2 minutes. You can't afford to sit on a lead because the guys that are fighting are always going to be coming forward.
So it's safe to say, Michael, that looks like Peter Graham's getting the upper hand here right now.
Oh, Peter Graham's definitely got the upper hand. He's using his weight to his advantage. He's implying his will, and he's got a willing participant.
And there, remember that this is a version of mixed martial arts, which means what's happening right now is perfectly legal. The beat down to the ground from the big man who hails from Sydney, Australia, Peter Graham. And that comes the end of the round. What's your take on that, Richard?
Well, clearly Christoph has no answer for Mr. Peter Graham there. They need to do something seriously in that corner to change things around in the next round. What would you tell him, Michael, going into this third and final round?
Well, a classic example of, you have the aggressor and you have someone with, and I believe he has the reach advantage.
Yes.
You got to keep somebody at the end of your blows. He's allowing Peter Graham to get inside his range in the pocket without being tested. He should be throwing a punch right down the pipe.
Could this be more mental than physical, Michael?
Absolutely. I absolutely think it is more mental. I saw Christoph warm up, and his footwork is excellent for a big man.
As you heard it from our ring announcer, third and final round about to get underway.
Sometimes when it becomes a mental fight, that's the biggest obstacle. You versus you. He's got to get over that.
Peter Graham using that teep kick to the midsection of Christoph Zil. He now catches him in some kind of a clinch between leg and his head is being held into a lock by Zil. Slows it down, the ref separates him with that 10-second work rule that is in full effect in this fight.
There's too much work on work.
Bluntly put, stop working for 10 seconds and you're separated to start all over again.
Come back. Mike, I mean, one of the rules that you really enjoyed, as you said, was the 10-second clinch rule.
Absolutely. It's the LFS equivalent of a yellow, which is an infraction for not engaging.
A reminder of the good old days of pride fighting.
Absolutely.
Come on, Dad, getting back into it.
Christoph Zil just seems to have no way inside to cause any kind of major damage, and he pulls away.
I think he twisted his ankle.
He looks like he has got some terrible foot trouble at the moment.
This is the second time, actually.
That toe looks broken to me. it's bending up at a bad angle. Ref is counting it, and that fight comes to an end. Peter Graham will be declared the winner by technical knockouts.
It can happen just at any time, I presume, Michael.
My belief is that everything that transpired was a result of psychologically not being there.
So you're saying really he started backing off a little bit. He wasn't really into this fight. He was getting hit by Peter Graham quite often.
Yeah.
And mentally he started suffering.
Yeah, I mean, you can be susceptible for all kinds of injuries when you're not completely there. And I don't believe he was.
Just came down to an unfortunate accident, and these things happen in the world of prize fighting. So we're going to take it up to our ring announcer, Craig Ross, to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, our ref Pascal puts a stop 1 minute into the third round, declaring your winner by verbal submission, Peter the Chief Graham. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. LFS is alive! Our second heavyweight international bout. And introducing first into the ring, Helen Ngalani!
Our second bout on tonight's televised card here from Last Fighter Standing in the Ticketbro Dome in Johannesburg, South Africa. The first fighter down to the ringside, Daniel Ilunga, who hails from the Congo but fights out of Germany.
I like what I see.
Certainly
I have seen him fight before. He is a phenomenon.
What's his background, Michael?
Kicking behind is all I know. I've seen him fight only twice before, but it was unbelievable for a man his size, the way he moves, kicks, and everything. This is going to be an amazing fight.
When two big heavyweights enter the ring, it's the ground that suffers.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing his opponent, Daniel Ilunga!
This fight is going to be something else because you have two phenoms fighting each other. Grand Prix K1 Championship, which
This is going to be a fight to remember.
he does not fight the way he looks. You will be surprised.
So you're expecting kind of a Rampage Jackson kind of attack from him, but he just throws in a spanner in the
Rampage
works?
does not kick. This guy kicks, not only kicks, he kicks amazingly well. He defies everything that his body type tells you.
Big size discrepancy in our second televised fight. Let's send it up to our ring announcer, Craig Ross.
This heavyweight bout is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. This fighter weighs in at 106.5 kilograms. Fighting out of Hong Kong, Helen Ngalani. Ladies and gentlemen, and now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. This fighter weighs in at 101.4 kilograms. Fighting out of Germany, Daniel Ilunga.
3 rounds of 2 minutes. Spitfire action on the way.
Well, speaking of nerves, I don't sense any sense of anxiety on any of the fighters. Both fighters seem ready. This is going to be a firecracker of a match.
Do not blink.
Referee giving their final instructions, and here we go. Round number 1 in the heavyweight division, an international matchup.
Okay. Time, you ready? Fighter! Daniel, you ready? Dan, you ready? Fight!
Daniel Ilunga with a little bit of a height and a reach advantage. With Elaine.
I'm going to tell you to be aware of Elaine's spinning kick. It is unbelievable for his size.
Both fighters being cautious in the opening minute of the opening round.
Mike, those little shin kicks, are they points?
Yeah, as opposed to nothing.
And certainly don't forget, one of these fighters, whoever wins, is going to go through to the next round. So they'll be fighting again.
And they'll be fighting Peter Graham, another big unit.
Elaine is very deceiving. You would not think about a guy his size being a kicker.
Or being that light on his feet. Looking for the side kicks to the midsection of Daniel Olunga. Another one that's just south of the border.
You can see experience written all over his face.
Resist what the crowd are trying to get you to do.
Watch the little moment, the little movements.
Come on, fly gerade, come on. Du fängst an, warte nicht, komm. Ja, Mann, ruf hinterher. Der ist oben.
Elaine Ngalani happy to move backwards and counter-punch shots, counter-punching kicks, and shooting for the first takedown of the fight. Remember, 20 seconds allowed on the floor here, LFS rules.
It also seems, Michael, Elaine's strategy or philosophy, as you can see, is to hit and not be hit.
Exactly. That's what I said. Watch for his little movement because he evades very well. Very well.
Daniel Olunga attacking with that knee to the midsection. And I think he did catch him. Forced the clinch.
He ducked under it.
And the takedown. And that's the end of the very first round. Michael, care to take a guess as to who you think you'd give it to?
Well, I'd have to give it to Elaine because he the 2 takedowns and his strikes. He got some good kicks to the body. And, you know, if you would have seen the taller man hit, you would notice. You would definitely notice it right away.
Having a look at the highlights package that's been shot between rounds here. A double kick with that left foot to the knee and to the head. Like you said, deceptive for a big man to be able to pull that off. Big takedown. Lunga not able to stuff that takedown. He just takes it and pulls guard.
Well, not only is Elaine getting the precise hits, it seems he's actually outthinking his opponent in the ring there, and it shows.
Yeah, and this is a classic example when, look at the matches that we saw before, where the other person had the height and reach advantage.
Back with the action, the beginning of round number 2. Daniel Olunga versus Elaine Ngalani. Ngalani, remember, fighting out of Hong Kong, but originally hails from Cameroon with a professional fight record of 25 wins and 7 losses. Against Daniel Olunga, who fights out of Germany by way of the Congo. His record stands at 49 wins and 8 losses.
Neutral.
This time the roles are reversed.
I told you, Michael, someone needs to construct something actually that prevents any kind of pain.
And there's that first spinning kick that you've been waiting for, Michael.
Look at the arsenal. It's unusual for someone his size.
Watch your foot.
Both fighters on the ground now. Elaine Ngalani in control on the top. Pulls Olunga away from the ropes and ready to rain down some hellfire.
Elaine takes his time.
Good wrist action, preventing multiple blows to the head.
What you're saying, he does not waste motion.
Great leg kick followed up by a kick to the ribs and another easy and crisp takedown for the bigger and stronger man. He's eating some elbows for his troubles. He's got to be careful. He's got to lock that arm up. He's in guard right now. And the crowd appreciating the new rules. They're counting down the time, making sure the ref's on top of his job. And the whistle goes. Both fighters being stood up. And here we go again.
He got you there. The referee's indicating exactly where he can be hit on the top of the head.
Fair by my book. Protect yourself at all times. Another takedown. And you always get the impression that this round is being won on takedowns alone.
Absolutely.
Must be active, guys.
He's got to institute takedown defense. It's part of the rules.
We come to the end of round number 2. Daniel Olunga gets back to his corner. Elaine Ngalani Standing up between rounds, both fighters. That's quite good to see. A good description of how fit these two fighters are.
He throws that thing with pinpoint accuracy.
And he caught it. He definitely landed that one. And you look at the size of Ngalani's quads. Leg kicks aren't going to work on that guy. You've got to think of something else.
Absolutely.
You're basically kicking a fire hydrant, and it's not going to do anything.
Len, you ready?
Again, I know I've overstated this, Nev, but I can't overstate the bravery of these fighters, the courage to take on opponents who are well trained.
Top-class athletes, top to bottom, that we've been seeing here tonight at Last Fighter Standing. Another effortless takedown from Alain Ngalani. Now deciding to fire some fists of his own from the top position in the guard of Daniel Ilunga.
Watch the eye.
Alain Ngalani's corner pleading with him to get something going before the 20 seconds is up, which has now happened. Ref stands him up to restart the action again here in round number 3. Bit of a swing from the fences for both guys. Daniel Ilunga keeping Alain Ngalani up against the ropes. And another takedown, but now he's finding himself in the bottom position. Ilunga needs to make this one count. Grinding his elbow into the eye. Don't know how legal that is as a move.
It's legal.
100% legal?
Absolutely.
And not nice at all.
Right. Stand up. Up.
Ref calls for the two fighters to stand up once again here in round number 3.
Fight, 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 fight! 1, 2,
Ngalani
3,
holding Ilunga up against those ropes. He's using that weight and size advantage that he has.
Break.
Lens is fighting really smart. Every time he goes for that a headshot, he ducks under it and takes him down. Like that.
Good timing of when to shoot for that takedown from Alain Ngalani. Again, once again in the top position, in the guard of Daniel Ilunga. Ilunga using that elbow once again straight to the eye and straight to the nose. And that brings the round to an end. A fight won on takedowns per se.
See the mutual respect. That's great to see. A phenomenal action in there. Big shots. I saw big shots from both athletes. It's going to be interesting to see what the judges finally say.
Well, when you have the strikes being about equal, and then you have all the takedowns. So to me, it's pretty clear on Elaine's side.
Let's see whether the judges agree with that. Nev, your opinion?
The takedowns are definitely what is going to take it for me tonight for the win for Alain Ngalani. I'd expect him to get a win. I'd expect him to get a unanimous, but like we've seen tonight, split decision is a word we don't want to hear, and especially if the wrong guy wins.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Declaring your winner by unanimous decision, fighting out of the red corner, we have Alain Ngalani. And introducing first into the ring, Daniel Ilunga.
Daniel Ilunga ready to get into the ring, and he's there due to the fact that his opponent beat him in his last fight. Unfortunately, was injured and could not compete any further. And he is up against the big Aussie dreamer from Sydney, Australia, Peter Graham. Alain Ngalani suffered an injury which meant he couldn't continue, and by virtue of a twist of fate, tonight Daniel Ilunga will fight in the finals of the International Invitational against Peter Graham from Australia.
This heavyweight bout is scheduled for 5 2-minute rounds. Introducing first and fighting out of the red corner, this fighter weighs in at 101.4 kilograms, fighting out of Germany, Daniel Ilunga. And now, introducing his opponent and fighting out of the blue corner. This fighter weighs in at 116.5 kilograms with a professional fight record of 82 wins and 26 losses. And those wins 48 by TKO. Fighting out of Australia, Peter the Chief Graham.
Graham quickly establishing himself as a fan favorite here in Johannesburg tonight. The first round of 5 2-minute rounds.
Peter Graham seems so businesslike in there. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the first few seconds of this fight.
He's got that mean streak about him, and we saw it in his last fight against Christoph Zil.
You're going to see a really different Ilunga here.
Peter Graham opens up 2 punches upstairs, followed by a leg kick downstairs. All business at this end of the evening of tonight's action. Oh, and a big shot to the jaw of Peter Graham. He fell like a tree.
Michael, you were saying something about Ilunga?
I said you're going to see a pretty different Ilunga, because now you're going to see how he normally fights. Peter Graham is actually custom made for him. What you saw with Elan has advanced movement. This is when you're Ilunga, you're a pinpoint striker, and when someone doesn't have the movement to get around it, or the head movement, that's your number.
Peter Graham's eyes are very glazed over from where I'm sitting, and he isn't looking happy at all with the onslaught coming from Daniel Ilunga, and Graham goes down for the second time in this first round.
So you see the night and day. It's just because of the other person's fighting style.
Styles make fights.
Absolutely. And you see how he cannot do this with Elan.
The first knockdown, a straight right hand. The second knockdown, a knee to the head. And another straight right hand, followed by another right hook. And the ref waves it off. Peter Graham is done. And the international champion is Daniel Ilunga.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I know that Elan has head movement. That one thing shows you a completely different fighter. You saw one fighter with head movement. He nullified everything Ilunga could do.
Especially that first knockdown.
Yeah.
Straight right hand, straight down the pipe. Split the guard of Peter Graham, and the big man went tumbling backwards.
Now, Peter Graham has no head movement, and he's a sitting target for someone like that.
Yeah, when you compare the two fighters, one had sideways movement, and the other one was sitting back in front.
It's about strategy and tactic. That's it.
In a heat.
So exactly, you saw a completely different person.
Absolutely, completely different person. The eagle eye of Michael Jai White. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, we still got one more fight lined up here, another heavyweight bout. But to make this last fight official, we hand it over to our ring announcer, Craig Ross.
Ladies and gentlemen, now Ref Pascal puts a stop to this bout 1 minute 30 seconds into the very first round. Declaring your winner by referee stop, fighting out of the red corner, Daniel Ilunga.